right, guys. So today we're going to learn equations and inequalities. So basically, we'll have an equation or an inequality, and they'll give us a set of numbers, and we'll plug it in for our variable, and then we'll see, is that specific number a solution to the equation or the inequality, or is it not? And we may have multiple numbers that are solutions to the inequality or the equation, and that's okay. We may have one, we may have none. All right, so we're going to do a few examples. Make sure that if you have questions that you're asking them, okay? All right, so example one that we're going to do is, this is an equation because it has an equal sign, okay? 4p minus 10 equals 6. This is not a J, it's a semicolon. So I need to make it look more like a semicolon. And then here's our numbers, 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to plug in 4 for p, 5 for p, and then 6 for p. And we're going to see if any of them are a solution to our equation. All right, now listen. This equal sign right here means it's balanced. So let's pretend this is a scale, and we've got to keep things balanced. So whatever we plug in for p has to work out to equal 6 for it to be a solution. Okay, so we want whatever is, this is 6 over here, so this has to equal 6 on this side. All right, so let's do this kind of quickly because we still have to do one more example of this, and then we have to get to the inequalities. So I don't want to spend all class period going over this. All right, so we're going to plug in 4 for p. So 4 for p, which is going to be 4 minus 10 equals 6. Okay, so this means right here multiplication. When the 4 is touching the variable, when they're touching, and there's not a plus sign, a minus sign in there. And so this means we're multiplying. So we know that 4 times 4 is 16. And guys, I work it out. It needs to end up in an upside down triangle. I'm telling you, that is the easiest way to keep up with everything. So please promise me that you're going to attempt to try to work the steps. All right, so 16 minus 10 equals 6. Well, I know that 16 minus 10 is 6. So we know right now 4 is a solution to this equation. All right, next up is 5. So 4 times 5 minus 10 equals 6. We know that 4 times 5 is 20. And 20 minus 6 is 10. This is not equal. So 5 is not a solution to our equation. All right, next is 6. So see, this isn't hard, right? It's just time consuming, I guess. Okay, so 4 times 6 minus 10 equals 6. Okay, so 4 times 6 is 24. And 24 minus 10 is 14. And that's not equal. So 4 is our only solution to this equation. Okay, we're going to do one more. All right, so our next one looks like a fraction. C over 3 minus 8 equals negative 5. And then the numbers, our possible solutions, are 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this is like not really a it looks like a fraction, but this is really a division problem. So we're going to be dividing. So whatever we plug in for C, we're going to divide by 3. Okay? All right, let's go. All right, so we're going to start with 7. So we're going to do 7 divided by 3 minus 8 equals negative 5. So I'm going to come over here and do my T-bowing. So I'm going to T-bow it, which means top in, bottom out. Top number goes in the division box, the bottom number goes out. And looks like I may have a decimal. All right, so 3 will go into 7 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Ooh, okay, and then that's going to be 3, which is 9, which is going to be a repeating decimal. So we have 2.3 minus 8 equals negative 5. All right, so let's try this out. So I'm going to do, I know this is going to be negative. This is just how I do it. 2.3 minus 8. It's going to be negative right here. This is for sure going to be negative. All right, so that makes it 7. negative 5.7 is not equal to negative 5. So that is not a solution. 7 is not a solution for us. All right, so next we're going to plug in the number 8. So we have 8 divided by 3 minus 8 equals negative 5. Let's try this out. Again, we're going to have to T-both. Top in, bottom out. Top number goes in the division box. The bottom number goes on the outside. And I'm going to go ahead and add a decimal because I know I'm going to need it. All right, so 3 will go into 8 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, 3 will go into 20 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. Again, another repeating decimal. So this is probably not going to be equal to negative 5 because it's a decimal, and negative 5 is like a non-decimal. I can't really say whole number because it's negative. So I'm going to just subtract. I know this is going to be negative because we're actually taking 8 away from that. Okay. 5.4. Negative 5.4 is not equal to negative 5. So 8 is not a solution. So hopefully 9 is. Let's try this. All right. So we're going to plug in 9 for C now. 9 divided by 3 minus 8 equals negative 5. All right. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. I don't have to really I know that. I know that fact. 3 minus 8, okay, is going to be negative 5 is equal to negative 5. Yes. Yes, son, 9 works. All right, so next up is inequalities. So this is where it gets a little bit more tricky because if the sign is greater than, it could be multiple numbers, could be a solution. Okay. All right, guys, get ready. Okay, so now we have 2s plus 7 is less than 13 because we eat the bigger one. So on this one, when you get to the inequalities, you're really going to have to slow your brain down. You're really going to have to think about what is this saying. So we want to eat the bigger one. So whatever's over here has to add up to be smaller than 13. If whatever we get over here is greater than 13, 13 or greater actually, 13 or greater because it doesn't have equal, all right? This has to be smaller than 13, okay? All right, so let's start with the number 1 and we're going to plug it in for S. And remember, if the number is touching the variable, that's multiplication, like that. Okay, so 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 plus 7 is 9. And 9 is less than 13. So 1 could be a solution. All right. Now we're going to do 2. We're going to plug in 2 for S. So 2 times 2 plus 7 is less than 13. So 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 plus 7 is 11, and 11 is less than 13, okay? So 2 is also a solution. So you see where we could get more than one solution on this one. All right. Now we're going to plug in 3 for S. Okay, 2 times 3 is 6. And 6 plus 7 is 13. And 13 is not less than 13, it's equal to. So 3 is not a solution. So 1 and 2 would be a solution for this problem. If you have questions, guys, please ask them. All right, so we have one more, and then I'm going to let you loose. So make sure that you're trying these on your own, and if you're not understanding that, you're asking questions. Okay, last example, and then we have another division one. So we're going to do r divided by 4 minus 2 is going to be greater than or equal to 13. And they gave us 56, 60, and 64. Now listen, you could possibly, sorry I have a hair in my face, you could possibly have to do decimals, and that's fine. It's just you do it the exact same way, okay? All right, so let's get busy. So we're going to plug in 56 for R. 56 divided by 4 minus 2 is going to be greater than or equal to 13. All right, so I'm just going to come down here. 56 divided by 4. 4 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. Okay, 16. Okay, so 14. So 56 divided by 4 is 16. So 16 minus 2 greater than or equal to 13. 16 minus 2 is 14. Did I do that right? I did it wrong. It's supposed to be 14. Sorry. Sorry, guys. So 14 minus 2 is 12. And 12 is not greater than or equal to 13. So 56 is not a solution. I bet some of y'all are screaming at the computer. Miss Mitchell, you plugged it. You put in the wrong number. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. All right. So next up is 60. So we're going to do 60 divided by 4 minus 2 greater than or equal to 13. All right. So let me just come over here. Okay. 4 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. And we know 4 will go into 20 5 times. All right, so now we have 15 minus 2 is greater than or equal to 13. 15 minus 2 is 13. And 13 is greater than or equal to 13. It's equal to 13. So 60 will work. All right. So some of you right now are already going, okay, so I'm looking at 64. 64 is also going to be an answer choice because if 60 was 13, if plugging in 60 for R was 13, which is greater than or equal to, which is equal to 13. If we plugged in a larger number, it is also going to be greater than or equal to 13. But let's go ahead and work it out. All right, so we're going to do 64 divided by 4 minus 2 is greater than or equal to 13. So I'm going to come over to the side and T-bow the 64 divided by 4. 4 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. Bring down my 4. 4 goes into 24 6 times. Okay, so now we have 16 minus 2 is greater than or equal to 13. And 16 minus 2 is 14. And 14 is greater than or equal to 13. So 64 is also a solution. All right, guys. So if you have any questions, please ask them. And good luck with today's assignment.